The Blackhearts, still reeling from their recent journey to Balthazar's sanctum, resumed drinking at the Moonlit Muse. The barman, having obviously witnessed their disappearance and eyeing them suspiciously, warned, no magic use in the premises. While the Blackhearts protested their innocence, the elf, Elwyn, ever curious and charming, invited himself over and ordered more drinks for everyone, much to the mixed reactions of the group. Horin arrived in unusually high spirits, his mood buoyed by some undisclosed good news. As he pulled up a seat at the table, Elwyn, eager to hear tales of their adventures, peppered the group with questions. Gideon and Horin welcomed his drinks with enthusiasm, while Jacob, Faraday, and Aurelian remained suspicious of his motives. Sensing something was off, Aurelian shifted into Nyx and kept watch from the rafters, ever vigilant. Henrietta and Charles, the young poets that had led them to the Muse, sheepishly invited themselves over to the table just as Seraphina began her second set. The group listened, entranced. The rhythm and melody seemed to captivate everyone, adding a sense of camaraderie to the gathering. They continued chatting, Elwyn ordering more drinks, until Faraday leaned in and threatened him for his incessant questioning. The elf reacted irritably, but quickly regained his composure, smoothing over the tension with a forced smile. Garen and Horin ended up very drunk as the patrons began to leave. Elwyn suggested he join the Blackhearts on their next adventure, but they politely dissuaded him. He proposed slipping out the rear door, but Faraday led them out of the front instead. As they left, Elwyn offered Gideon his hat, with a feather in it, a gesture that seemed both friendly and oddly symbolic. Aurelian, via Nyx, scouted ahead as the group made slow progress through the streets. Jacob, being the soberest, took point, leading them on a circuitous route due to their suspicions about Elwyn. The streets were quieter now, the night deepening and casting long shadows. Horin, lagging behind, heard an unusual bird call and went to investigate. He stumbled into a pair of large, swarthy half-orcs and tried to talk his way around them, but he was grabbed bodily by the larger of the two and restrained. His attempts at smooth talking fell flat against the orc's brute strength. At that moment, a dashing woman appeared in front of Jacob, accompanied by a man with grey hair and several half-orcs. The Blackhearts were surrounded. From the rear, the half-orc holding Horin shouted, "Darla! We got one!" The woman, who seemed to be in charge, insisted that they lay down their arms and come with her. Gideon laughed hysterically at this proposition, and the meager show of force before transforming into a hulking werewolf, triggering a brawl. Jacob, quick to react, enfeebled the orc holding Horin, weakening it significantly. Horin took the opportunity to stab his attacker several times and wriggle free. Faraday, seeing an opening, unleashed several arrows, felling the orcs at the rear. Gideon leaped forward, slashing at Darla, tearing chunks of flesh from the woman and stabbing her several times with Blackheart. The half-orcs leapt upon Gideon to try to slow him down, as Darla swiftly made her escape. Faraday sliced a rope, securing a nearby market tarpaulin, entangling the orcs. Aurelian, in his supportive role, provided inspiring encouragement to the party. The man in grey fired several crossbow bolts into Gideon, bringing the werewolf down temporarily. With Darla barely alive, the ambushers made a hasty retreat. Gideon, healed by Jacob, felling the final half-orc with Blackheart. Killing a sentient being tore Aurelian out of Nyx and back to Blackheart. He experienced a moment of pleasure so intense he blacked out as the orc's soul passed through the blade, leaving Gideon to wonder at the sword's dark power. Searching the corpses revealed a note saying, "We need at least 4 this time, and some that can handle themselves, unlike the last bunch." Jacob and Horin surmised that this was likely a press gang action, and that Elwyn was probably involved. On their way back to the warehouse for much-needed rest, they encountered 2 dead dragonborn with poisoned darts in their necks. Medgal Winterward, the Sinola agent, stepped from the shadows, stating that he had found another of Lopan's artifacts, and once again needed their help in exploring the ruined dwarf hold of Thal Noriath. The urgency in his voice hinted at dangers yet to come, as the Blackhearts realized their respite would be short-lived.